Good evening to everyone. Let me introduce myself. I am Vishnu Aditthiyan, Cybersecurity Analyst trainee at BCBUZZ Technologies, Coimbatore. Start our session with the topic of WordPress recognition using WPScan. Let me explain about the agendas. What are we going to cover in today's topics? Introduction to WordPress recognition in web security. Introduction to WPScan. Installing and running WPScan. WordPress version and detection. WordPress enumeration techniques. Plugin enumerations. Theme enumeration. User enumeration. Vulnerability detection using WPScan database. Introduction to WordPress. WordPress is a content management system, or otherwise known as CMS, which allows the users to build and manage website without needing to write complex codes. Instead of manually creating pages with HTML, CSS, or PHP, WordPress provides an easy to use dashboard where you can publish content, upload images, and manage your site effectively. It is an open source software, meaning that source code is freely available and thousands of developers around the world continue to. This flexibility has made WordPress to backbone of more than 40% of websites on the internet. However, this popularity also makes WordPress a prime target for attackers since websites rarely and third-party plugins and themes, even a single vulnerability component can compromise an either site. That's why security testing is so critical for WordPress environments. Recognition in web security. Before we attempt any attacks, we need to gather information about our target. This phase is called recognition, and it is the first and one of the most important step in the cybersecurity assessment. Think of it like a detective investigating a scene. We collect clues about the target system to understand its structure and components. In web security testing, recognition helps us to identify what CMS or technologies and the website users, what server software is running, exposed service and APIs, plugins, themes, and user accounts. The goal is to map out the attacker surface. For example, if we know a website is running an outdated plugin that is potential vulnerability, we can investigate further. Recognition is purely about information gathering. It does not exploit anything yet, but it lays the foundation for everything that comes next. Installing and running WPScan. Most cybersecurity professionals perform WordPress testing in Kali Linux, a penetration testing operating system with hundreds of security tools pre-installed. WPScan usually comes pre-installed in Kali Linux, so installation is often unnecessary. And we use the command to check whether it is available or it. Parameter specifies the target website once executed, and WPScan sends multiple HTTP requests to analyze the website and determine whether it is running WordPress and which components are present. WordPress and version detection. One of the first tasks during recognition is detecting the WordPress version. Knowing the version is crucial because many vulnerabilities are tied to specific WordPress versions. If a website is running an outdated version, attackers can use public exploits to compromise it. WPScan uses several techniques to detect versions, like HTML meta tags, RSS feed generator tags, JavaScript and CSS file references, and README files. These will enumerate the WordPress version. Detecting an outdated version immediately flags the site for patching or further investigation. WordPress enumeration technique. After version detection, the next step is enumeration. Enumeration is about discovering the internal structure of the website, which includes installed plugins, active themes, registered users, WordPress version details. Attackers rely heavily on enumeration because it provides information that can be exploited. For example, if enumeration reveals an outdated plugin or a weak admin username, it can be targeted with further attacks. Plugin enumeration. Plugins are one of the largest attack surface in WordPress. Plugins extend functionality, adding content forms, analyzing payment gateways, SEO tools, and more. However, since they are developed by thousands of different developers, security quality varies widely. Some plugins may contain coding errors, outdated libraries, weak authentication, file upload vulnerabilities. WPScan allows us to enumerate the plugin data. Using the WPScan vulnerability database, we can identify which plugins we have no security issue. Next is theme enumeration. Themes defines the visual appearance and layout of WordPress site, while primarily for designing. Themes also contain code such as PHP scripts, CSS, and JavaScripts. Vulnerable themes can introduce security risks, including cross-site scripting, file enclosure vulnerabilities, directory traversal. It identifies the themes installed, and we can cross-check them with the vulnerability database. User enumeration. Another important step is user enumeration. WordPress sites often have multiple users, administrators, editor, authors, and contributors. If attackers discover valid username, they can attempt brute force attack, credential stuffing attack. WP can enumerate users with the lot of enumerations. From a security perspective, exposing username is risky, so admins should minimize exposure and use stronger authentication mechanisms like multi-factor authentication. Vulnerability detection using WPScan database. One of WPScan's most powerful features is vulnerability detection. The WPScan vulnerability database contains thousands of documented vulnerabilities. They are WordPress core versions, plugins, and themes. Each entry includes a description, severity level, affected versions, and references. Using WPScan, security analysts can compare discovered components against this database and quickly identify which parts of the websites are vulnerable. Analysis of the WPScan results. After running WPScan, we get a detailed report with information about WordPress version, installed plugins, installed themes, discovered users, potential vulnerabilities. As analysts, we can need to carefully interpret those results. For example, if a plugin has a known vulnerability, we check the installed version and the enumeration and determine whether it requires patching or not. Real world WordPress attacks. WordPress websites are often targeted due to their popularity. Attackers exploit outdated plugins, vulnerable themes, weak user credentials. Once compromised, attackers can perform activities like website defaultment, injection malware, data theft, and redirecting users to malicious sites. This shows why regular security testing is essential for WordPress enumeration. WordPress security hardening. Security hardening means strengthening the configuration of your own website to reduce the vulnerabilities. For WordPress, best practices includes regularly updating core plugins and themes, removing unused plugins and themes, using strong password and multi-factor authentication, limiting exposure of usernames and sensitive files. Following these practices reduces the attack surface and prevents most common attacks. WordPress attack surface. It primarily detects known vulnerability. It may not detect zero-day vulnerability or custom plugin login flaws. It should only be used on websites you can own or own or one have permission to test. Using WPScan ethically is crucial. Unauthorized scanning can be considered illegal. Next, let's move on to the hands-on session. Let's start the session by having the hands-on by one by one. And here we have to give our target site which we are being going to test for today's audit. I am giving the tricera dot space, and you have to click enter, and let me explain why it is used. It is used to perform the basic recognition scan on the WordPress, identify whether the target is running WordPress or not, and it detects basic security misconfigurations. And by using this, what we are going to get means WordPress versions, robots.txt file, XML RPC status, and the headers, theme detection, basic security findings. And here we can able to know that it is running 100%. And next command is for identify the version detection. Same that WPScan underscore hyphen URL space HTTP, and same that the target site and hyphen enumerate space VP version, and it is used to detect the WordPress core version running on the target. And by using this, what we are going to get means exact version of the WordPress and the vulnerability associated with that version if API token is used or not. And the WordPress version is 5.8 in it, and it helps to identify that the plugins are and versions are outdated or not. And in today's audit, we are in the latest version 1.0.4. Next is plugin enumeration scan. WP scan hyphen URL. And why it is used to? It is used to discover installed version WordPress plugins. Many attacks can happen through vulnerable plugins, and to identify it and to get the correct plugin, it is used. And what we are going to get means plugin names, plugin versions, and the vulnerabilities known. And it also detects that the plugins are outdated or not. Next is theme enumeration. and it is used to detect installed version and WordPress themes, and by using this we can get the theme name and in which version the theme is going to be and the vulnerabilities of the themes. And themes can lead to remote code executions or SS vulnerabilities. Next type is user enumeration. And it is used to identify the valid WordPress usernames, and by using this we can find which user has been logged in and the author of it. And in today's in our target site, here we can able to know about the author or admin who has been logged in, and by using the passive detection it is found. And by using this WordPress usernames can be identified and author IDs. For example, if the author name is John and he is logged in by the username admin and password at johnadmin at 123, we can able to know that. And it is useful for the login brute force attacks and which can be updated. Next is vulnerability scan. And it is used to check known vulnerabilities in the WordPress site and to check the core plugin themes and CVs. Next is brute force. Next is aggressive plugin detection. And it is used to detect the hidden plugin that is in the passive scanning and which cannot be found. And what we are going to get it is more accurate plugin detections, hidden or protected by the plugins. And it is checking whether the enumeration is being in processed or not. And the security scanner used to identify the vulnerabilities in the WordPress websites. It helps us to detect the WordPress versions, install plugins, themes and users. And these also can check for known vulnerability using a vulnerability database. This information helps security analysis are analyzed to identify weak points in WordPress website before attackers exploit them. It can be easily found and easily can be detected by the analyst. And in this PHP version is 8.1.33, and it is found by the aggressive detection. And it can be, and the WordPress version we are using or installed in this is 6.3.7, and it has been released on the 2025 ninth month on the date of 30th, and it is been found by the passive detections. And there is no plugins in this, and the catch request is totally 6. Next is passive plugins. And why it is used to detect plugins without sending many requests to the client, so that the clients may not know that how we are being going to audit, and it is the disturbance for them and useful when we are getting the stealth scanning. And we, by using this, we can get the publicly visibility plugins and plugins version if exposed. And the version used in it is 6.1, and request done is totally 139 requests, and catch request we have been got 43 catch requests. And next is then mixed plugins. By using why it is used remains, it combines the passive and the aggressive detection, and it provides the better detection accuracy. And by using this, what we are going to get is we can get the more plugin that can be done in the passive scanning, provides the hidden plugin discovery. And the latest version used in it is 1.0.4, and last version updated on 1st Jan 2025. And it enumerates and combines the both passive and the aggressive methods. And we are able to use and find the detections and the vulnerability using the IP address also. Not only by using the website name we can find, we can use both type, and each of the scanning takes its particular own time and enumerates and it's the result what we are being going to get exactly. And next is media enumeration. And it finds the media files uploaded in the WordPress. And by using this, we can get media IDs, file names, and the possible usernames. This sometimes reveals author names also. And the total request send is 102, and catch request is 43. and it is running in the platform hostinger. Next is next is TimThub vulnerability scan. And it detects the TimThumb script vulnerability in themes, and by using this we can able to get the vulnerability scripts, potential remote file inclusive vulnerabilities. And it is been done in the headers of the passive detections, and by using the login page as an admin hyphen ajax. And the style used is CSS style. This is also be enumerated by using both the passive and the aggressive method. By combination of these two also, this team hub script vulnerability is detecting its data, and we can be gathered the information by using that both. And it is very potential and the essential of the enclosure of the file inclusion, which can be completely scanned and detected after the whole process of the WordPress scanning. In it, the total request senders 2614, and only the 6 catch request has been captured, and the total data is 611. Next scan is disable TLS or SSL check scan. And why it is used is many website uses HTTPS encryption with SSL or TLS certifications. However, sometimes the certificate may be expired, the certificate may be self-signed, the certificate may be misconfigured, or the certificate may not match the domain. So to identify this, it has been used. And when the WP scan connects to such websites, it normally refuses to the continue the scan because the SSL validation fails, and it ignores the certificate validation errors and continues the scanning and website even if the SSL certificate is invalid. And the total request engine is just 176. And next is an proxy scan. And the proxy scan is used to routes all WP scans traffic through the proxy tool. By using this, the data can be identified, and in which way the direction the data has been transmitted also can be identified easily. And for the Bob suit or Zaproxy or Fiddler. Reason for using the proxy is traffic inspection allows the tester to see every request and responses sent by the WP scan. And modification of request, you can modify headers, cookies or parameters on the fly to test security, and captures request for the documentation or analysis. And proxy can help manipulation request by bypass weak web application firewalls, and it detects issues like insecure cookies, hidden endpoints, and vulnerable parameters. And WP Scan sends all HTTP and HTTPS requests to the proxy server. The proxy forwards the request to the target website. Responses from the website go to get all the data, and it grouped into a single data and executed. And next is random user agent. And by using this, the how the random data has been grouped can be identified easily. And it is used when the security scanner sends request to an website Every request contains an HTTP header called the user agent. This user agent identifies the client sending requests such as web browser, mobile browser, or automated tools. For example, Mozilla, Windows, or Linux, Android, Chrome. According to this, and we can able to find in which it is and been sent. And next is froze scan. It's normally WPScan first checks whether the target website is actually running WordPress before starting the full scan. It looks for indicators such as WP content, and WP includes WP login, PHP, WordPress meta tags, WordPress generator tags in HTML, etc. If WP scan cannot detect these indicators, it will stop and display something like that the remote website is up but does not seems to be running WordPress. However, many modern websites hide WordPress information for security reasons. Administrator may have the remote WordPress meta tags, rename directories, hide content, block detection. Because of this, WP Scan might incorrectly think the site is not running WordPress, and it execute that the sites can be run, but it can't detect the data. Some website administrator hide WordPress indicators to prevent automated scanners from identifying the platform. WP Scan normally stops scanning if WordPress is not detected. The force option allows us to bypass this detection step by continuing scanning to the target. This helps security analysts identify plugins, themes, and vulnerability even when WordPress is initially hidden. Next is intersecting findings. And it is used for the platforming a security assessment on a WordPress website. Testers look for exposed file or misconfigurations that may reveal sensitive information. Sometimes files on a web server are not meant by an public accessibles, but due to improper configuration, they can still be accessed by anyone. Like debugging logs, configuration backups, documentation links, and license files. These files may leak critical information about the website technology and configuration. The option intersecting findings detection aggressive tells WPScan to actively search for these exposed files and directories. And it is our learning platform. You can be log into this and you can be learn whichever topic you has been interested. And it is our social media connection, and you if you have any doubts you can scan and be free to text. Thank you.